Good morning, Tuesday. All right. Hello, everyone. Let's get this news thing, flash briefing going. All of us that can't afford a freaking Alexa. All right, Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, getting your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Kristen Wright. Israeli government officials will convene today. It's expected they'll consider a possible agreement with Hamas involving the release of hostages. U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee member Senator Chris Coons spoke to MSNBC.
Negotiate with terrorists.
Some of the hostage families.
What's the thing? They're not really terrorists.
Israel came out into full view in recent days.
Bought and paid for
they
by
are
you?
insisting that they take the chance of a ceasefire, even though that will allow Hamas to regroup just for the period required to get the hostages released.
Hamas seized around 240 hostages in the October 7th attack. At least 3 people, including a television news team, have been killed in an Israeli drone strike in Lebanon. NPR's Jane Arraf in Amman, Jordan, reports the Israeli military had no immediate comment.
Lebanon's Al Mayadeen television network said one of its reporters, Farah Amar, and a video journalist, Rabih al-Mamari, were killed in what they called a targeted attack. Lebanon's state news agency said another civilian was killed along with the 2 journalists in the Israeli drone strike near the Lebanese border. Israel and Hezbollah have been exchanging fire across that border since the war in Gaza began in early October. Reuters photojournalist
You mean back in
Hassan Abdullah
2014?
was killed and several other
Let's be real.
journalists and media workers injured in what the international media group Reporters Without Borders said appeared to be a targeted strike in Lebanon last month. Jane Arraf, NPR News, Amman, Jordan.
This hour, President Biden is discussing progress in disrupting the flow of fentanyl into the U.S.
Oh my gosh,
The
probably
White
not much
House
of a
and
discussion,
China
huh?
agreed last week to resume working together on the issue. Later today, the President and the First Lady will travel to the Massachusetts island of Nantucket. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre
to that
says
island
President
a lot,
Biden and his family will keep with tradition in celebrating the president's birthday over the upcoming holiday.
They'll be able to celebrate the president's birthday as a family together in Nantucket later this week, and certainly we'll do that with coconut cake, which is something that they traditionally do.
Biden is expected to call members of the military on Thanksgiving Day to thank them for their service. On Friday, the Bidens are planning to attend the annual tree lighting ceremony in downtown Nantucket before returning to Washington, D.C. on Sunday. Windsor Johnston, NPR News, Washington.
Today is expected to be one of the busiest air travel days this Thanksgiving holiday, along with tomorrow when the Federal Aviation Administration says nearly 50,000 flights are scheduled. It'll be a test for the strained U.S. aviation system. You're listening to NPR News from Washington.
Don't unload it. Then I don't know
A
if it's
big
clean or
storm
not.
system could affect the Thanksgiving travel east of the
Wash it while I'm
Mississippi.
not here.
Widespread and heavy rain is predicted over the next 2 days. The National Weather Service says the system could produce potentially high impacts during the busy Thanksgiving travel period. High winds, hail, and tornadoes are all possible. The New York City tri-state area could see major rainfall. In the community of Jacumba Hot Springs in Southern California, locals say there is a humanitarian crisis unfolding. Hundreds of migrants, many of them children, cross the U.S.-Mexico border every day and are placed by Border Patrol in unofficial open-air camps where they are told to wait. NPR's Jasmine Garst
Walmart's,
has more.
right?
Migrants might wait in these camps for hours, overnight, or several days. There is no shelter from the cold, no water, no food, and people mostly go to the bathroom outside. Humanitarian aid has been left in the hands of locals and volunteers. Resident Karen
Isn't it
Parker
always?
says she has at times had to use veterinary medications. She says conditions are dire.
Scabies, parasites, necrotic, scorpion bites, seizures,
diabetic emergency.
yes, broken bones, burns, lots of burns.
NPR reached out to Customs and Border Protection multiple times and received no response. Jasmine Garst, NPR News.
The 9 people aboard a U.S. Navy plane that overshot a runway in Hawaii made it to shore unharmed. I'm Kristen Wright, NPR News. In NASA news, through Artemis, NASA plans to conduct long-duration human and robotic missions on the lunar surface in preparation for future crewed exploration of Mars.
Well,
Expanding exploration capabilities requires a robust lunar infrastructure, including practical and cost-effective ways to construct a lunar base. One method is employing in situ resource utilization, ISRU, or the ability to use.
robots.
Finding and studying Earth-like planets orbiting nearby stars is critical to understand whether we are alone in the universe. To study such planets and assess if they can sustain life, it is necessary to directly image them. However, these planets are difficult to observe since light from the host star hides them with its glare. The recent shipment of heat-source plutonium-238 from the U.S. Department of Energy's JOES Oak Ridge National Laboratory to its Los Alamos National Laboratory is a critical step toward fueling planned NASA missions with radioisotope power systems. This shipment of 0.5 kilograms, a little over 1 pound, of new heat-source plutonium oxide is the NASA will host a What's on Board media teleconference at 2 p.m. EST Wednesday, November 29th to discuss the science payloads flying aboard the first commercial robotic flight to the lunar surface as part of the agency's CLPS, Commercial Lunar Payload Services, initiative under the Artemis program, carrying NASA and commercial payloads to the moon. A team of engineers participate in simulation training for the Polar Resources Ice Mining Experiment 1, Prime 1, on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023, inside the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The purpose of the training is to get the integrated Prime 1 team, engineers with Prime 1's Musolo mass spectrometer. In weather. Currently, in Seattle it's 42 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect lots of clouds,
Alright,
with a high
Amazon.
of 54 degrees.
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Why did the ghosts quit studying? Because they were too cool for school.
Wow, you teach that to all the little kids. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Peace.